I'm David Voss,
I am Jason Koth.
and we're having a conversation. And it's a
Yes.
normal conversation about music and about other things, probably too. Yeah?
Perchance.
Perchance. So, this is the first episode of a series that I'll be doing in which I talk to friends of mine who I collaborated with on Pictures at an Inhibition, which is my upcoming album being released on April 30th. And I'm having a conversation, just a normal chat, just a normal, no pressure, nothing. We're not recording this or anything. It's just a normal, intimate chat between two friends.
Yes.
With this friend in particular being named Jason Koth. Hello. Hi.
Hello, David Voss.
This is how we begin all of our conversations by saying hello, Jason Koth, and
hello, David Voss.
hello, David Voss. Yes. And Jason was very heavily involved throughout the whole process, not only in terms of a recording musician, but also in terms of a recording engineer and doing mixing and mastering and making sure all the tracks sounded nice and pretty.
I tried.
You gave it your best shot.
As one does.
I think it turned out pretty well, I gotta say.
I'm very happy with how
Same. Yes. We should say things like that in order to build the anticipation for the end result. I am also very happy with how it turned out. It's excellent.
Yes, likewise.
Good. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit in this normal chat about my album and what you did on it exactly.
Yes, so mixing and mastering is what I did.
It was a lot of what you did.
The entire album was that it was my involvement on that end.
Indeed. That's not my lane. That's not my thing. So I reached out to Jason. I was like, help. I'm working on this album and I need someone to mix and master it. And you were like, yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. I'll do that.
Prior to you asking that, you had asked me to lend some things onto a track.
Yes.
Which being started as saxophone and then wound up being electronics, but it was really saxophone through electronics.
Yeah, you do a lot of those electronics things.
Yes. Yeah. Like electroacoustic, I think would be the term.
So I'm so sorry. You're right. I'm electroacoustic. My bad.
A lot of what I do gets mistaken for synthesized sound.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it's easy to confuse, I suppose, what you do. I see. Okay.
Yeah. And then also played some drums and accordion.
That's right.
Which is really out of the blue.
Yeah, that was out of the blue.
I did not expect that even after I did it.
Yeah, but it works. It works really, really well. Well, it's like, okay, here's the thing. All right. When I think Jason Koth, I think electroacoustic music is what I think first and foremost. I think saxophone. I think composing. I think mixing and mastering, engineering, that kind of thing. I don't think accordion. I think it's safe to say that through the creation of this album, we got to know each other quite well.
Yes.
Because we would communicate quite frequently. I kind of gradually grasped the full extent of your like instrument ability through that association, through the process, where I'd be like, oh, I need some drums here. And you're like, well, I could play some drums. It's like, oh, okay.
The way that came to be was because you were saying we both kind of agreed, like, okay, this track needs some drums or some type stuff. And like I have a drum set, but I do not necessarily it was a little bit more of like, okay, I have an idea of what could fit here. So I'll just hop on the drums. I have the microphones in the room. I'll just turn them on and see what happens, kind of a thing.
Sure.
And it wound up surprising myself as to how well it turned out. So then I sent it your way and was like, if you like this, I'm cool with leaving it, which would be kind of insane. But yeah. And then the accordion thing was like, it needs a bass sound. And I was like, it was one of those like, what if I played accordion on this? Because accordion has like it has a good bass quality to it in an acoustic sense.
There's nice sustain as well.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of electronic manipulation on the back end of it to make it fit.
Cool. Well, if you want to hear Jason's accordion playing, that is on the track "Going So Soon." It'll be a little while before you hear that one. I think it's coming out with the album, but yeah, it's in there. If you listen real close, it's
It
down.
is.
It's down in the basic reason. You'll hear the drums, and you'll hear his mixing and mastering. Well, you may not know you're hearing it, but you're hearing it all over the place. But enough about me and my album. Stop it. Ugh, we're just going on and on. But you do things on your own and with other people, yeah?
Yes, variably. Well, so here's my thing.
Please give us the listening audience, whoever's watching this video, your thing.
Well, so like engineering is the first and foremost thing of what I do, like the mixing and the mastering and that kind of a thing. To a certain extent, and particularly with your album, the way that I approached it was very much in an engineering sense of like you're asking me to add things to it.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is like, okay, where does it need things like in a mixing sense kind of a thing. So the thing I'm saying things a lot.
That's fine. This is just a normal chat between buddos.
Yeah.
And sometimes buds say things a lot.
So the projects that I'm involved with
The projects. I like it. Good.
are very much stemming off of that, where I'm not the one that's doing the actual thing, but like I'm filling a context.
I see.
And my solo work, which I have a few solo albums that are out there,
Mm,
are a little bit more of like I'm just setting up and improvising on something and then piecing something together out of that. And things kind of stem off of that mindset of filling a frequency space, a time space, etc.
and so where would people find the stuff that you create, like the stuff you mentioned before?
Well, David,
Hmm. Hmm.
in this friendly conversation,
Yes.
oh, I have a Jason Koth Bandcamp page, which is jasonkoth.bandcamp.com. So those are the solo albums. Those are just like Jason Koth, electronics, mainly saxophone, that kind of a thing,
Sure.
mainly ambient. But I do also have, there is a label called This Is Not Social Media, which is loosely things that I do. But there are some other things that are on there as well that I've been involved with. But yeah, that is This Is Not Social Media.bandcamp.com.
Gotcha. So
I will,
Bandcamp's the place to be.
that is, yes.
Yeah. For those of you who are watching, uh, there's so much good stuff over on bandcamp.com. It's ridiculous. And it's a great platform to find more independent artists, even friends and family that you know, where you can buy, yes, purchase, buy their music and give the artist money for the music that they make. It's probably the most direct way to financially support artists online through actually purchasing their music instead of streaming or, yeah, what have you. So get on that Bandcamp bandwagon, everybody. Um,
I also do a lot of like highlighting artists on like their homepage.
yes, they're good at it internally supporting the
Yeah.
artists who post on there. And I mean, I'll be posting my album on Bandcamp when it's released. I just released the single Breakfast today on Bandcamp, and I will be posting my album on streaming platforms and making CDs. But Bandcamp's kind of the hub of where everything happens. So, and then you work in mixing and mastering with a lot of mutual friends of ours, especially Lawrence
Mm.
alums. And so, if you know people who went to Lawrence University and they're making albums and putting out stuff, chances are Jason has had his dirty little fingers in those people's pies. Oh,
Yeah.
I did not. I didn't mean to imply that your fingers were dirty. He washes his hands, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he keeps clean.
Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, we do need to put on the record that you do wash your hands the recommended 20 seconds while singing. Do you sing happy birthday while you wash your hands?
I do not.
You don't. Oh.
I listen to Disintegration Loops by William Basinski while I wash my hands.
Oh, that's longer. That's substantially longer.
I was being facetious.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was Oh, he's got a he's got a great facetious sense of humor, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of our favorite things about Jason. Oh man, he kills me. Okay, there's a note. I just got a pop-up notification for an app that I've thrown in the trash like 10 times. I try to get rid of this thing. I downloaded Adobe Photoshop to work on like graphic design stuff for the album. And then I got like a free trial for 7 days. And then at the end of those 7 days, I was like, all right, time to throw all of this stuff in the trash. But there's still like it's still here, it's still on my hard drive somewhere. And it keeps popping up things. I have to enter my password to like allow it to do stuff. When I don't, I want it gone. It's fine. I'll just
I think it's an internet account thing.
oh maybe. I'll just
'Cause
click don't allow because I don't allow it. Whatever it is. Do you by chance teach people how to like do the things you do, like mixing and stuff?
I'm glad you asked, David.
I did it again.
I do. For those of you who are wondering the formal tone of this, this is an interview which David knows the answers, but we are doing the question and answer format.
Well, that's always how interviews work though.
It
That I mean, usually. Like okay, late night interviews.
yes.
Like and I watch a fair number of like little late night interview things and it's always so tell me you ever had any weird thing happen at the airport and then the comedian has like a bit on airports and they do the thing. That's my style. What can I say?
Yes, I understand. I should have the suit should have tipped me off.
It really should have. I mean, come on now.
Yes, I teach, which is a recent avenue I quite enjoyed. I teach what I do with like engineering and arrangement and computer electronics type manipulation, electronic like pedals, modular synths, that kind of a thing. Yeah, it's kind of more of a, or at least the way that it's turned out has been like people say like, oh, I'm gonna record or I have to record something for X or Y, and then we would go through and I would be like here's what I would recommend that you pay attention to, and here's how you would go about doing stuff like that. So it's been more of like a case by case, like especially with people recording at home.
Have you had a song stuck in your head today?
Oh, yes.
What song?
Okay, there's been two.
Two songs today. Okay.
One is one that I'm working on. I don't know if I could reveal.
You shouldn't. Don't. No, don't reveal. Keep that anticipation.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to jasonkoth.bandcamp.com. And
Well,
this is not social media.bandcamp. Oh,
I
that,
I don't know
oh,
where this is going to be released.
never mind. Don't stay tuned on jasonkoth.bandcamp.com or the other. This is not social media.
If you so choose. Anyway,
Yeah.
so something that I'm working on,
Yeah.
which it tends to happen. And then the other one is a French French electronic duo. I think they're French called Justice.
Justice. Okay.
Track called Genesis.
Genesis by Justice. Okay.
It is a remarkably funky track,
Mm, I like funk. Funk's good.
and it, at least for me, it gets stuck in my head fairly often. But
Oh, okay. All right.
I distinctly remember this morning having that stuck in my head.
I had Yellow Submarine stuck in my head today,
Oh man, I'm sorry.
but mainly the bit that's like sky of blue and sea of green in our yellow submarine. That bit, like not the music bit. Yeah, that got a little old after a while.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a threshold of something being too catchy.
Yeah, that's up there. That's up there for sure. Well, we should talk about something that isn't music for a little bit.
Mm, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. One of my goals with these interviews is to also like not just talk about music the whole time because I find that I really enjoy, I mean, I know a lot of musicians and I enjoy talking to musicians and I think musicians tend to be pretty interesting, entertaining people. But at the same time, I think there's nothing more boring than two musicians talking to each other about music. I mean, it's really
It narrows your audience.
It really does. It really does. So I feel like we got to get away from the whole music thing and just I'll ask you a question. I've been looking up some questions to ask, some good prompts.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
here's my prompt. Here's my prompt for you, Jason. Let's say that you were an Egyptian pharaoh
Wow.
and you died. You're dead now. I don't
Okay.
know what you died of, some some old disease, and you've been mummified
Hmm.
and put in a pyramid or something. What things would you like to be buried with?
Huh.
Mm,
Man.
yeah.
Hmm.
Because you're going to the afterlife.
Well, what was the impetus? I remember there being an impetus behind that.
Well,
Is
it was.
that what you take with you?
I think it's yeah stuff you take with you to the other side. I don't know if there's like a river. Maybe that's Greek mythology, but you
Hmm.
go somewhere else, right? That's a
Hmm.
pretty universal idea. You go somewhere else, and the things you get put in the ground with are things that you get to take with you. It's like the spirits of those things, along with your spirit, go to the next world.
Man.
And it's a reflection of your life, but also your, what you want to do eternally. I'm doing a lot of this with my hand.
Man, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I mean, there would probably be some sort of. I know you brought up this question to not talk about music.
I did. I did ultimately. Yeah,
Probably some kind of thing that I am physically knowing how to make music on
sure.
instrument and in the vernacular.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh,
In layman's terms, an instrument.
that'd probably be it. I mean, like,
That's it?
well, I mean, like random stuff that like I have, like chairs and stuff like that.
You take chairs? You'd
There's
want to get buried. Is there a particular chair you'd want to get buried with?
the one I'm sitting in is pretty comfortable,
Is
actually.
it? It's all right.
I think it would be safe to say that sitting in this chair, I have sat in it at some point in making everything that I have released.
Oh wow. Okay. So that chair has been with you through thick and
There is,
thin.
yes, there is a spiritual.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not like there's really nothing that I would be upset at parting ways with outside of like other humans.
Well, I think that's all. That's a very, if we're talking about afterlives, which we are now, that's a very Christian idea
Hmm.
of death, where it's like you can't take it with you, right? That's what they say. You can't take it with you. That's the big thing they say. You can't take it with you. They keep saying that all the time, and I'm like, enough already. I get it. Where they're like, you don't. It's if you're going in the ground, and you're not. This other stuff is not. You're not going to get it. So you're not going to take it with you. That's what they say. Anyways, so I think our minds are already kind of prepared for like, oh, well, we're not going to be able to take it with us, right? But this is like you get to take the best of your life, the things you enjoy the most,
Hmm.
to the afterlife to be with you for all eternity. The things that made you happy in this life
Hmm.
are transcended beyond this mortal coil to the everlasting, and you picked your chair. Would you like to be mummified sitting down in your chair?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the afterlife, I would assume that you take on a different physical space.
I would hope so. I can't imagine.
I wouldn't be too picky about that.
What if
But
you don't have like a physical body to sit with?
well, I mean, then why take anything? I probably would. Here's my
Hmm.
thing.
Okay.
So, as you know me,
I do.
music pretty much like the thing
Sure.
that I do from a things standpoint. Um,
Well put.
thank you. It is, however, and I think that the draw into it is that it is also a big source of frustration where I'm always constantly working with something to try and create a dialogue that is cohesive and fluid, if
Sure.
you will.
Sure, I will.
So that's why I would be like, if I were going to the afterlife, my halfway decent guitar shows up. I'd probably be like, oh, great.
I can see that.
I
Hmm.
wouldn't mind starting afresh.
So maybe an instrument you've never played before. Oh, there's an idea. Okay. I think, okay, here's what I think you want. Let's say you have some terminal illness.
Hmm.
You're still an Egyptian pharaoh or something, but you know, the Egyptian doctor's like, you got 10 parsecs to live. I don't know how they measured time necessarily, but they're like, you don't have that much longer. And you're in your kind of pharaoh-y bed going, oh gosh, all the things I didn't accomplish in my earthly life. I wanted to do all these things. I had this bucket list. You would probably want to get buried with those things that were on your bucket list so that you could get to them.
That is a very good point. That makes a lot of sense.
So it wouldn't be items that you were like closely connected to in life. It's items that you never really had a chance to interact with.
That is a very good point.
Mm,
That is probably more the thing.
sure. Because like you said, if you could just got your guitar, it's like, well, I've like already come up with a lot of things on here. Like, how many more things are there? Eternity? Like, gosh.
That being said, I do believe that instruments are. I mean, it's like interacting with a human in a way. It is a conversation between yourself and something. So there is a respect due to whatever entity it is you are creating a dialogue with. So I
Sure.
wouldn't be, oh, I don't want to see you again. But given my personality of like keeping things moving through,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that'd probably be the thing.
Okay. Cool. I'm just imagining you like in the other world and your guitar shows up. You're like, oh, great.
You again.
You again here too. Jeez. Well, thank you for answering that question, even though it was about music ultimately. Anyways,
Yeah,
but we touched on some other things, which is the main point, I suppose.
the chair.
Um, yeah, the chair. Taking a chair. What does your chair look like exactly? Describe your chair for those of us who don't.
It's like a swivel chair from like the '90s.
Cool.
It's black. It makes a lot of noise, which is really fun to record with.
Oh yeah, that would be tricky.
Yes,
It doesn't have arms, I assume.
does not.
Okay,
Uh,
that's good.
it's got an Apple sticker on the back of it.
Okay, I'm just.
I don't know how to adjust the height, but
You
apparently
don't know. Well, now
I
you have all eternity to find out.
I do. I have
Yeah.
no clue how to do that. There are mechanisms that look like they are there for that
Yeah, like
purpose.
the knobs on the bottom, like the tick, tick, like the.
It's like a corkscrew thing that like you should
Oh,
wiggle and it'll go up. Um,
oh, I see.
never has.
No, and that's the chair you're gonna get
Yeah,
entombed with.
yes.
Not like a golden throne thing, just a swivel chair from the '90s. Cool, lovely. All right, well, nice talking to you there, Jason, in a nice
You as,
casual, kind of off the record manner.
you as well, David Voss.
Thank you very much, Jason Koth. That's Koth. Jason Koth.
Yes.
Find him on Bandcamp
Yes.
and wherever CDs are sold.
Not everywhere, but
No, okay, not everywhere that CDs are sold.
somewhere where he
Coming to a theater near you.
sure.
Stay tuned for more interviews with friends of mine who worked on the album, which is coming out on the 30th of April. Pictures at an Inhibition. And thank you again to my guest, Jason, for being here. And thank you to you for watching this episode of a series that I don't know what it's called yet.
It was a very PBS like signing off.
That's good. That's good. Maybe in the middle of April, I should do a pledge drive. We don't have an interview for you today.
Cut it
Uh,
in the middle of it.
yeah, exactly. If you want to hear more of this interview, I mean, we could use a little bit of help. Honestly, yeah. Okay. So long.
So long. Farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen. Adieu.